I'm just going to show you very quickly how I prepare my canvases before I start painting on them. First of all, this is a ready primed canvas. It's Belgian linen. It's stretched up, as you can see. It's nice and tight. You really need your canvas to be tight before you start painting on it, because otherwise you'll have all sorts of problems. If it feels slack, tap in these wedges. If you don't have a tight canvas before you start, when you put the paint on and brush over, the stretcher bars will form a line. So always make sure that you have a very good tight canvas before you start. Next thing I do is I put a texture paste all over the surface. Now this is for various reasons. Firstly, you've got a texture on the canvas, which is the tooth of the cloth, which is fine. I like to add a bit more texture, and I'm using this texture paste to apply using palette knives, big one like a spatula really, and smaller ones. It doesn't matter, and you can always use your hands. So to start with, I'm just going to apply some of this paste, and it's just going to go all over. Now you can see, nice big thick dollop, and just apply this right across the surface of the canvas. Don't bother about getting it nice and smooth at first, because you're going to be working on it. Don't be afraid to just get a great solid lump of texture paste all over. Don't matter, it just goes on the floor. Just make sure you get plenty on, because that is going to form your surface on which you're going to put another colour, a base colour first of all, which will give you the underpainting colour ready to go. So you can see, I hope you can see the texture on this. So I'm just going to put this down here and work it away with it now. I'm going to use a smaller knife just to give a bit of different texture to it, so you can get it worked all over. And this will go on, as you can see, it's going on very thickly, and it's a good paste to use. Sometimes I put in a little bit of French chalk, just mixed in with it. French chalk is very neutral, and it just adds a little bit of extra coarseness to the surface of the canvas, and this just helps the paint to come off the brush much easier. If you work on a very smooth surface, sometimes the paint doesn't want to leave the brush, it just slips all over. But if you put a texture down first, sometimes you get a lump in it, just flick it off. So you can see this is going on really very nicely all over. Now what I like to do really is to let that dry just a little bit, so it becomes a little bit more tacky. But you can see you can put a lot of texture on there, and it gets us to the state of coarseness that you want. And don't forget, you can always use your fingers to create another different swirl in it. Don't be afraid of getting your fingers dirty in this stuff. I like to do this. I like to get my fingers right all over it and into it. And with the paint too. I know some people can't do that because they have an allergic reaction to the paint. You have to wear gloves. Well, yeah, I know. This is just unfortunate, but if you have to do that, then you have to do it. Wear a glove. But otherwise, it's good to get your fingers into the paint and into the texture paste. All of it just get messed up, because it really will add to the spontaneity of the texture. And then when this is all dry, I will show you what to do with applying the colour on the top of it. Now once you've got this paste on, depending on how uniform you want it to be, you can keep working it. As it dries, you'll find that it starts to pull the knife, and you can tap it, bring up all different sorts of texture on it. So once you've got this done, it should take several hours to dry, perhaps even overnight. And once that's done, then you can put the undercolor on, and I'll show you about how to do that, how to mix it up, why I use a particular color, and that will go on the next episode. So I hope this has given you some tips on how to start creating the texture on your canvas. Don't forget, stretch your canvas tight. See you the next time.